Hey guys, welcome back. I hope that Hiking Mulgar DPS guide helped you a little bit. And if you did like it, well, guess what? Here's the Gruul one, okay? So just to keep this intro nice, short, and sweet, I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did with Hiking Mulgar, but with Gruuls. Except for I listen to your guys' comments and I see that you want me to go over the rotation, so I will break down the rotation for the fights as well. Other than that, we're going to jump straight into it. Using some kind of footage, I have to go back and look for footage that matches some replay with the actual footage, so it's not perfect footage, but it'll work. So yeah, see you guys there. So the first thing, as always, I'm going to bring this up with every single video because once again, I go over logs. I see it all the time. Make sure you are flasked. You have the right flask on, which is Flask of Pure Death and only a Flask of Pure Death. Not a elixir, not a Flask of Supreme Power unless you're super broke. Not a Depths elixir. Just make sure it's a Flask of Pure Death. Make sure you have one of the 3 food buffs you can get. Your weapon properly oiled with the Brilliant Wizard oil. You have your demon, the correct demon sacrifice, Imp if you're fire, Shadow if you're, Succubus if you're Shadow. You're using Mana Procs and Destro potions. You have Flame Caps if you're Fire Destro, and you're using Kibbles, Bits, and Scrolls if you are Felguard. All of these are paramount to your success for parsing or any kind of DPS that you can plan to do. Okay. All right, first thing first, gonna be the positioning of Gruul. So I want to go over one thing right now, really bad. Okay, so you see, this is the biggest thing that I can say about Gruuls, and then we'll go into the video. Okay, the biggest thing, the number one thing that you can do to aid your parse in this fight is, well, you see these rocks that are placed strategically over here, right here, right here, right here. I think there's one right here that's not showing. Right here, there's one right here that's not showing. These rocks right here, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the rocks when you're inside of Gruuls. Well, you can stand on them, and if you are standing on them, you will not get hit by his Grand Slam. One of his only like 3 abilities he has is the Grand Slam. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Grand Slam. He throws you in the air real high. You'll see at the footage at the end of the video that I'm standing on this rock in it, and I do not get hit by Grand Slam. So if you're standing on one of these rocks, once again, you do not get hit. Everybody else will get hit around you, and you do need to reposition yourself. Like if you're here and someone gets Grand Slam to you, make sure you don't get hit with that shatter, right? But if everybody knows that this is, this is Crix's rock, like, oh, I'm Grand Slam the Crix, I'm moving out of the way so he can keep pumping. Like, that's kind of how it works, right? So you'll see a little bit more as we go into the video. I'll go over it more, but I just want to show you a quick clip. So this is a image gallery from the Warlock Discord, somebody in the Warlock Discord who originally told me about this and sent me this to show. So I'm going to show it right now. I'll have a link to this in the description, also with a link to a live's video as well. Okay, so I'm not going to sit there and zoom on each one, but you can see that these rocks are standing on, and all these rocks you stand on, once again, you're not getting knocked back. I've tried this one myself. I've tried this one and I got knocked back, so I'm not sure about the wall ones, but I'm for sure about the rocks. I've never tried the log. This rock works. These rocks work. I can confirm these rocks. I'm not confirming anything in the middle. I've only tried a couple of them, but it's anything that's lifted high off the ground a little bit, like this terrain bug right here. This is my favorite rock. So yeah, pretty much just get on these rocks, guys. If you guys are on these rocks, and you guys won't get knocked back. So right above us right now, you will see a tag or a mention for a lives video. He has a very good video on this exact thing about not getting hit with the slam. I'm going to link it above, or please click his video and show him some love, guys. Okay, so yeah, anyway, on with the video. Okay, so I'm not going to go over each of the strat because every strat is different, but the general strat here, common sense, is like you guys are pulling, you're pulling this boss. You have one group over here, you have another group over here, you have another group over here, or you have it over here. The general tactic that I would suggest is put your hunter group up here, put either your mage group over here and your warlock group over here, or vice versa. It doesn't matter, either one. But for this instance, I'm going to leave the hunters here. We're going to move the mage group over here. We're going to move the warlock over here, and everybody else is spread out. And if you're curious while you're watching this right now where you should be spread out, melee is typically always going to be in the middle because, well, melee. Your healer's going to be right here on the range. You want them to be able to be out of the range a little bit, and you want your casters to be along the wall. Grand Slam goes out, all of your casters go along the wall as much as they can, okay? And then melee will be able to just go like this, and healers can go like this and be able to heal everybody. Anyway, let's get on with it. You'll see some positioning right here. So another thing to notice about this fight is you can mind soothe this boss, which is a big deal. You can mind soothe this boss, which means instead of him pulling aggro right fucking here, you guys can actually pre-position up here at the wall and everything before you can even pull the fight. Now, it'll take a little bit of practice to get it to mind soothe, but he is a humanoid. It doesn't make any sense, I know, but he is mind soothable. But I would suggest just getting some practice runs in on the mind soothe. So this works for whether you're mind soothe or not. The mind soothe just helps everybody get into position, all right? Now, keep on pushing here. Now we're gonna get into position. These are our positions right now. So what I'm gonna do is show my warlock, which is me, where I think you should be standing, and this totem image right here is gonna be where, well, your totems are. This is just kind of like a friendly reminder to stay within range of your totems at all times, okay? Now, on this pool, as I'm moving here, I'm doing something. This is where I'm trying to go. I know that this is my rock. When we go in here to this game, guys, I'm going right to my rock right away, whether that's here, whether that's here. If you're on this side, then obviously go to this rock, go to this rock, go to this rock, go to this rock. I mean, you back here is one of a very, very good spot too. Just try to find a rock, but make sure you're in range of your totems. A lot of people try to do this rock strat and they're not in range of their totems, which defeats the purpose. It is not worth standing on the rock if you can't get your totems, right? Now, the rock I say is a big deal because it's a patchwork fight if not. So this is the whole fight, right? Now, if you back up a little bit as we go in here, we're gonna back up. And as we're moving right here, no matter what spec I am right here. As we moved, I'm right here. By here, I'm dooming. A doom's up. Assuming that he's already targeting the tank, I'm putting a doom up no matter what spec I am, unless, of course, I'm not dooming, right? Unless I can't doom. If I'm curse of elements or whatever, my curse goes up right here. And then I actually keep going a little bit, and then I stop a little bit. That's just for him to build aggro. And I actually put my dots up right here. So as fire destro, I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to put immolate up, right? And then I'm going to continue move to my rock. And then I'm going to get on my rock. I'm going to spam the pop my cooldowns. I'm going to spam incinerate, spam incinerate, spam incinerate, spam incinerate. The same thing goes for shadow. I would do the same thing if I was shadow, right? As we're moving in right here, I'm going to stop. I'm dooming. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm stopping. I'm gonna emo. I'm gonna corruption. I'm gonna get back to my spot, my rock, and I'm gonna start spamming the fucking shadow bolts. Now, something to make note of this with the rock, as we talk about the fell guard. The fell guard, I'm gonna do the same thing. When we get to here, I'm gonna put a doom up. I'm gonna send my fell hunter in, my fell guard in. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get to my spot. I'm gonna emo corruption on my rock, and then I'm gonna pump. Now, one thing to notice here on this rock is your corruption range. If your fell guard is a little bit different, right? You don't get that 36 yard destructive. I mean, well, you have destructive reach, but you don't get grim reach, right? So you have shorter range on your corruption. So there's a lot of times that I've been on these rocks, like this one's a good example, and this one too, and this one sometimes if the positioning is wrong, where I can get an immolate out, but I can't get a corruption out, right? So you can kind of burnt on corruption. So it looks like you're going immolate, shadow bolt, jumping down off the rock to put a corruption, jump back up. Like you don't want to do that. So if it goes to where you can't put up your dots or cast your shadow bolt, incinerate, whatever, then obviously you're not going to be able to go on a rock. If it's something that you're noticing, say, Warlock rock here, Warlock over here on a ledge, and then Ellie's here, but the boss is a little bit too far away here, you can have, you can easily just have the, hey, can you guys scoot over just a little bit just so we can be able to make sure you're in range? Just that's like, it's a big deal. There's not much to talk about on this fight because this fight is literally just like pump, stand and pump, stand and pump. But outside of that, I will say, now, that's the rock strat. If you're on the rock, you want to keep doing this for sure. Now, if you're not on the rock, this is a completely different thing. So we're going to pretend that we're not on the rock, and I'm right here for some reason, whether you're in range, whatever the reason is. The biggest thing that you can do to make sure that you have a DPS increase is your uptime on immolate and corruption, right? All your specs use immolate, a couple specs use corruption. You need 100% uptime on that. Now, the way to get 100% uptime on that is not to wait until it's at 1 second and then put them back up, because there's a mechanic called reverberate, which silences. And what he's going to do is he's going to silence you, right? So you want to have, and then grand slam, of course. So you want, and shatter. So you want all three of those. You want your emo and corruption if you're running corruption. You want both dots to be on the boss literally 100% of the time if you can. So in this example, let's say you have 5 seconds left on an immolate and corruption, or immolate, right? In 5 seconds, your immolate's going to fall off. In 3 seconds is a grand slam. 5, 4, 3, grand slam hits you in the air. You have 2 seconds left on your immolate, right? Your immolate now is gone in 2 seconds, and you're still running around getting shattered. No damage on the boss. Or you see 5 seconds left on your immolate, can flag it, re-immolate. 2 seconds later, you get a grand slam. Now you have a fresh immolate or corruption rolling on the boss the entire time that you're shattered. That's like the biggest thing I can really tell you guys that on this fight that really helps a lot, because look how many times you get reverberated, grand slam, shattered. Look how many times that happens in combine mode. That's how many times. If you get 2 silences and 2 grand slam shatters, that's 4 different occasions that you're not doing any damage to the boss if you do not make sure that your dots are ticking full time. Okay. Let's see, what else can I think of here? This will go for it doesn't matter what side you're on, you're doing this no matter what. I don't really think anything else that can really help here, guys, besides cooldown. Like I said, you're going to make sure on the transition, it's always important to doom. I like putting my dots up here, like I said, because I don't want to plant my feet over here. I'm just trying to pump. And plus, that's just damage. You get free damage you're getting while you're running, which is good. And you pretty much just make sure you have uptime on your emo and your corruption and spam those shadow bolts, man. There's really not much else you can do here. As for your cooldown window, you're going to pop them when you get to your spot, and that's about it. Don't pop your cooldowns, doom, dot, and then pump. Like, dot, do your stuff, get to here, pop your cooldowns, and fucking go ham. This is one of those fights that I personally use a mana potion. I do not use a destro pot, all right? That's up to you guys. I'm pretty biased on the mana pots. I love mana potions. So I don't even pop destro pots with anything. So I'll doom, I immolate, I get to my spot, I'm popping my blood fury, I'm popping my icon, I'm popping my flame cap, I'm gonna fucking absolutely pump. After 5, 6 shadow or 5, 6 incinerates or shadow bolts, I'll pop a mana potion, and I'll keep pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping. Let me see, is there anything else? I'm pretty sure I forgot something, but you guys will let me know in the comments, right? I might have to edit it back in if we do. Anyway, for the footage here, guys, I'm not going to put a side-by-side up here because it's literally just me standing in the same spot. It might not help you that much, so I'm just going to give you the straight footage of me on this rock doing the boss and pumping, okay? I get to my rock, I put my curse up, which is curse of wreck in this occasion, put my immolate up, and I start blasting. Now, this is all you're going to see me do is sit on this rock. As you can see, I'm on a rock. We have a while until a grand slam, right? But when this grand slam comes, you'll see that I don't move. That's the only reason I'm showing you this fight right now. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing because this is literally the entire fight. Keep your dots up and incinerate, right? I'm keeping up my emo. I'm keeping up my curse. I'm keeping up my incinerate. I'm using my cooldowns on cooldown, and I used a mana push in this instant as well. All right, so just go ahead and watch the rest of this fight. Enjoy that, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for the mags one.